Do you send pictures of your wiener?
All the time.
All the time?
All the time.
Like, to anybody?
Yeah, I just sort of like look them up in the phone book. You know?
Oh, in the phone book. You're sending digital pictures of your wiener from the white pages. Okay. I love getting a wiener pic. I do. I'm online. Love the dating. Love a good wiener pic. And it's not the wiener. I don't care about the wiener, okay? What I like to think of is the moment just before the guy sends it, when he's looking at it, and he's just like, oh. You did it again, Dave. You did it again. She's gonna love this. Send. And then I get it, and I'm like, my friends are gonna love this. Oh my God, is that a dick or a narwhal? What is that thing?
I've probably known you the longest out of this batch of comics.
Really?
And I remember meeting you at Morty's Comedy Joint.
Yep.
And here's the thing, like, I'm usually the guy that, like, watches the show, you know what I mean, when I'm on the road. But, like, Morty's was my home club, and the green room was always the hang.
Yeah.
And it was the hang back in the day. Like, Miss Pat, Warren B. Hall, Brent Terhune, you know, Nee Miller, like... It was the hang.
Yes.
And so I didn't watch a lot of the shows. And you came by and did a set. And it brought me out of the green room. Like, it was like one of those sets where I was like, what's happening out here? Who is this? And what's going on? And, man, it was just, I just loved you immediately. And then I believe my ex-girlfriend and I kidnapped you after the show, and we stayed up till 2 in the morning.
Cookies.
Eat cookies and talking about good music, and and ever since then I've just, man, it feels more like family than friendship with you. And
I love that. Thank you.
And you have this work ethic that I'm always just so fucking jealous of, and so
can I say
proud.
This drives me nuts. It doesn't drive me nuts, but I'm just like, I don't understand. Everyone's like, you have such great work ethic. You work so hard. I'm just like, I wake up at 9 and like cry, and then like try, like send an email, and then just lay on my floor for 20 minutes. I'm like,
see, the difference is I'm not sending an email. See, I'm just crying and laying on the floor, and I'm like, man, why aren't things getting better? I gotta send that email. That's what it is.
Yeah, you just gotta send that email, and then you can lay on the floor, or just send the email from the floor. You can do a lot of work from your floor.
Oh my God, you should. This is a TED Talk. Work from the floor. Ground up.
Imagine a world where you can do your work from the floor. Have you thought about it? Well, here's 18 years of research that I will get wrong. Ladies, what do we do when we get a weird one? Okay, because I already can see you're like, oh no. When you get a weird dick, what do you do?
Oh, awesome, thank you.
Oh, you're kind. No. No, we laugh. We laugh and we show our friends. We're just like, what is this? Right? And I'm going to say that is mean. Okay? That's a mean thing to do because that's not fair because there is no support for dudes with weird wieners. Okay? As a plus size girl, I go out in the world and there is always support for me. There's always someone being like, you go, girl. You're a queen or whatever the fuck they say. But there's not that for weird dicks. There's no message board where someone's like, oh yeah, I love it when it like splits off into two and then like the vein wraps around it and then it detaches and flutters away. I love that. All I'm saying is if we're nicer to guys with weird dicks, then maybe they'll stop taking away our rights. Have we thought about this? Anybody? Have we thought about this at all? Having to watch your special and focus on the material and not the way you look the entire time. What a fucking masterclass in like self and like forcing self-love on yourself, because watching that special was just, it was so hard. It was so hard. Almost like close your eyes and just be like, just listen to the laughter. What is getting the biggest laugh?
Right.
man, it's so, like, if I never have to watch it again, great, but I know I have to because we're not done editing.
Yeah, and then you have to be excited to show other people. You have to be, go see this. Okay.
Excuse my human form, but the jokes are good. Sorry, I had to be a person for this. I had to exist.
I think Tig Notaro has figured it out. She did an animated stand-up special.
I know.
I mean, I didn't know that was allowed.
Yeah, we could have done it.
When can we do that?
Now you'll just do a claymation. It takes you 20 years to get it done.
Stop motion.
Yeah.
Wes Anderson is actually directing my next stand-up special.
Oh my God.
Because I get caught up in self-image a lot, and I didn't want to come here today. And but what helps me is remembering that whatever I'm looking at in that moment, I think it's way worse than it actually is, because I'll go back through my photos, through my phone or something, or your Instagram, you'll see a photo of yourself, and you're like, oh, I look great there.
Yeah.
But I remember thinking in that moment when you're posting that picture, when you're looking at it in that moment, you're like, oh, I look like shit. I hate myself. And what is this? And
this is something that I do, and I think that everyone should do if they have body image issues, is you have to fill your feed with people that look like you and people who, it's like, again, more like body positivity. And the body positivity has been co-opted by diet culture. So it's like it's like almost like it's not even something you really want to say, because it's body positivity is just like turned into like thin women showing their roles and being like, when I sit, I look at it. Oh no!
Yeah,
Isn't this gross? And you're like, no, you're just sitting.
Yeah.
And so it's been co-opted, but the best thing to do is I have my feed is full of other large-bodied women who are living their lives fearlessly, and there is a part of me that gets mad about it, and the part of me that's just like accepts it and then is like, well, I can do it. And I'm constantly exposed to other bodies that look like mine. And they've done studies of this where they've exposed people to larger bodies and smaller bodies and then showed them the different bodies and had them rate them. And when people constantly were looking at smaller bodies, they were really prejudiced against larger bodies. But when they were given 20 minutes of looking at larger bodies and then were shown larger bodies again, their bias was much less. They weren't as scathing towards it. So it's literally just changing the things you're seeing. How people get away with too much in this country, too. Oh, my God. I have a very conventionally hot sister, okay? And this bitch has driven without a license, without registration, without insurance, and she's gotten away with it after she got stopped by the cops. I have gotten a ticket for jaywalking, okay? A cop saw me cross the street and was like, not in my town! That is bullshit, okay? The diet industry is a $73 billion industry, you know?
Yeah.
You're not winning.
no, it's diet and dick pills. That's what America runs on. Come on, man.
I think Dunkin' Donuts would have something to say about that. The 2 D's, double D, that's what Dunkin' Donuts actually stands for, is diet and dick pills.
And dick pills. It's America's bloodline, baby.
That's true. But it's just it is every day a constant battle of, and especially us being, we're content, we're a brand. We are the brand. You have to do the job of making sure you see people who look like you, who are doing the things you want to do, just to filter out all of the Kim Kardashians and the photoshopped shit that people want you to see.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that's happening. I think it's happening slowly, the other changes that we're seeing in society. You know what I mean? You're starting to see, more Muslim people on billboards.
Yeah.
So it's like, easy now. Look, a Muslim person's using a toothbrush. It's okay. And you're like, okay, all right. So we're starting to see that in magazines where you are, and in mannequins in the stores and stuff like that. You're starting to see more plus size options and images happening, but it is a slow build. And it's unfortunately in America, we just have to it's like baby food. We're just like, it's okay.
Yeah, it's no one's taking anything away from you.
Oh my God.
It's
yes.
okay.
Yes.
My family's a little conservative, and there's been like he and Han sometimes over commercials.
Right.
When you're just like, what is wrong? What does it do to you? Like, now you can't buy toilet paper? It's just like, well, this commercial shows a family of bears. You going to be mad about this one?
Right, exactly.
Like, oh, these bears are coming in and taking all our toilet paper.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, if people are just used to seeing, like, we live in a big city, so we see diversity all the time.
Yes.
So when we go to a place that doesn't have it, it's fucking weird.
Yeah.
It's real weird to like be at a club and be like, be the white person at the club that's like, there's a lot of white people at this club.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's just like, it's representation matters for everybody, even for the majority white people. We need to see other people to understand there are other people in the world.
Yes. We really truly understand that all lives matter. We need to see all the lives.
We need to see all the lives. I need to see all the lives, all of them, all
We
the
can just
time.
make sure. You're right. All these lives matter. It's so ironic that people that are like, all lives matter are just like, hey, but you don't like everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, you do. That's not a thing you actually believe. They just, we live in such a scarcity mindset in this country that anyone getting any little thing, it's suddenly like, well, then that means I can't have it. But they also don't see that they've had it the whole time.
Yeah.
I have a sister who's 14 and she's always on TikTok.
Right.
I mean, so am I. So I'm always on it. But she at 14 is being exposed to queer voices, Black voices, Muslim voices, and so many other people that are living the same life that she is.
Yes.
But come from these different backgrounds that growing up in suburban Minnesota, like I didn't see that. You know, like I had my two best friends and who are still currently like my best friends were like the only like minority out of like 1,000 kids at this school. Like there just weren't that many, and it like, and I hear from them what it was like to grow up being like a brown person in Minnesota and like how hard that was. But if they had that option to see like other people like them on not just on TV, but just like in their phone that were like real people, I'm sure that changes everything for everybody. It changes how my little sister can be more compassionate and understand other people's, like she understands privilege. She understands it. Well, as like someone like my dad doesn't get it.
Right.
But she gets it. And the same thing with like on the other side, like they can see that, other people can see that just because you're white doesn't mean your life's easy. Like there's so much that we can gather from each other with it. Yeah. And then Nazis show up. And then what do you do? And then a Nazi shows up, someone's selling you like a worm to eat. It's like, what a fun time. Like being hot isn't important to me anymore, right? Like I'm hot for my 34-year-old self. And that means that I go to therapy, I have a career, I own an air fryer. That's literally all you need. You don't need anything else. But like hot in your 20s, I don't need that shit anymore. That was just like, I got a big butt and a tiny waist. I could put my whole fist in my mouth. Like that was hot in your 20s. My favorite position is codependency. Like, not into it anymore. And the reason why is hot people suck. Can we all agree hot people suck?
Yeah.
Okay, there are a couple of you who are like, but I'm hot. You're not, okay? Just, no one's ever told you no. That's it. You're not hot. Like, hot people are terrible. Hot people are boring, okay? Hot people have never had to have a personality in their entire lives. They've never had to have one. And hot people are the worst lay you will ever have, okay? If you've ever had sex with a really hot person, and I don't know what it's like for guys, but for girls, this is what it's like, is they lay there like this with their wieners just in the wind. And they go, this is all you need. And it's like, no, magician, that's not all I need, okay? I need something. You know, I'd rather be fucking the used car lot balloon guy, because at least he's moving around, okay? He's dancing. He's happy to be here. He's gonna lick my butthole. You hot dude, not gonna do it. Hot dude's not gonna do it.
I don't know about you, but I've been on a diet since I was 5.
Yeah, food was always a reward for me growing up. My mother loved to cook, and we always had multiple dessert options. It wasn't just like, oh, you have a cookie after dinner. It was like, do you want apple pie and a cookie and a piece of chocolate cake?
And that's how your mom showed love.
Yeah, we had sweet tea and like all of these things, but then you get around. Unfortunately, you get around other children, and you start to get older, and when you get in the age of attraction, that's when it really starts to affect you mentally, because you're being judged almost solely by your image.
And you're being bullied all the time.
You're being bullied, you're being judged. And I mean, I discovered comedy as a way to fit in because I was a larger kid. I played center on the football team. I was the biggest player on the football team. That's whenever you tell somebody you used to be big, they always want to know how big, and that's the way I describe. I'm like, I was the center on the football team. I was the biggest player there was. Your whole job is just to be a wall. That's your job as
you
center.
were a wall.
So I was a wall as a kid, and but that self-worth and how I found comedy was originally just doing Chris Farley impressions. I would fall through fucking tables,
Oh my God, that's intense.
I would I would at the lunchroom table, I'd pratfall and do all these things. I was the big funny kid. And that's how I found that kind of love and acceptance. Even though it was wrong, but in those moments, I didn't know that, and I didn't know how to dig myself out of that or anything. And the only solution out of that, or finding any kind of validation or love that I had thought, was what society tells you to do, and that's get in shape, baby.
Yeah.
You better lose that weight. You better look good. You gotta look like fucking,
Which is like also, I think, too, within the body and this is something that a lot of I'll call it the fat acceptance is more appropriate. There is a huge gap in our acceptance of fat male bodies, and like body positivity for men.
Well, dad bods and all this become popular.
Dad bods have become popular, but I feel like the pressures that men are under to look a certain way aren't fully talked about. I think a thing that the movement does need is like more support. As far as like many men have eating disorders, if you think about the whole bodybuilding world of like keto and stuff, they've cut out an entire nutrient group. Your brain functions on carbohydrates. That's how it works. Yeah. And you've completely gotten rid of that nutrient group. Of course, you got all these weird dudes fucking with fucked up thoughts, being mean because they're hungry. They don't have carbohydrates with their brain, like the whole obsession with food porn and like all that stuff. It's all a society that's starving.
And I think about this daily, okay? How much we trust hot people for no reason. This is gonna get dark, okay? This is what I think about. How many people would still be alive if Dr. Fauci was hot? It's a dark thought, okay? I know it is. Because you guys know that it's true. If he looked like Brad Pitt, we all would have been like, oh my God, put your masks on immediately. But instead, he's a tiny Italian dude, and we're all just like, fucking shut up, pizza boy. I'm gonna go lick a doorknob. Spit in a stranger's mouth.
Body positivity, let's ditch it. Let's get to body neutrality. So I feel like, especially for all of us who have lived in larger bodies or struggled in larger bodies, it is so hard to go from hating yourself so much to suddenly like, I'm perfect. I'm just the way I am is fabulous. And I'm gonna, and all the fucking parading around in bikinis that we have to do just to prove to people we like ourselves. It's just like so frustrating. I'm like, I don't need to prove to anyone I like myself by like not wearing clothing. I do it because it's on my OnlyFans and I enjoy the money I get. But body neutrality is the act of you don't hate your body, you don't have to love your body, but you respect your body. So if you like, I respect you, right? I also like you, but like I respect people, so I'm not gonna. Like, if they, fuck up, not going to be like, you fucking piece of shit. You're such an idiot. You're so stupid. This is why no one loves you. Like, you wouldn't say that to your roommate who just helps pay your bills. You're like, I don't like that they're around all the time, but, like, they serve a purpose and they're kind of nice and whatever.
Yeah.
So treat your body like a roommate where it's just, you're neutral about it. And you're just like, okay, I have a roommate today. And then you just go about your day. That's like the best place you can be at, I think, for someone who has like that level of trauma.
Right.
So that's where I try to go to, is body neutrality and just being like okay existing in human form, which is very difficult sometimes. You just want to be like air. And I just want to be like vapor.